We're live now, but this is
We
the
are
part
live now, Jody. How
because
are you?
we're not on real TV. We're on the other kind. So we just give a minute. This is the stalling period where we just hang out and wait for people to join us.
We're streaming all across southern Alberta.
No, the world. We are on the.
Oh yeah, that's right. We're streaming all around the world.
World domination. Remember?
Jody Seeley, World Domination. Absolutely. It's the Friday Morning Coffee Club with Jody Seeley.
Yeah. Where's your coffee? Do you have a coffee?
Actually, I have my smoothie because when you're 55, you have to have nutrients.
Oh,
so there's wheatgrass, and there's acai and all kinds of superfood, including a lot of sugar.
Oh, good. You want sugar. That's exactly what this world needs today.
That's right. More sugar.
We'll be fired up Friday. All right. As people join in, please say good morning in the comments as you join us. Grab your cup of coffee. We'll get started here in a minute. I have my fun flamingo Friday cup today.
I love your flamingo coffee cup. That's pretty powerful.
I have a thing for coffee mugs. I'm not going to lie. I have quite a collection. And doing virtual coffee club every day for 9 months, I feel like I'm justified to buy as many coffee mugs as I want because you kind of need a new one every other day, right?
You need a new coffee mug every day if you're going to do a coffee conversation live for 9 months.
So I kind of, I find I need some more fun ones with like messages that I can just send to people.
Completely logical, totally understandable. Not obsessive in any way. Not at all. No.
I need a new coffee cup cupboard also.
A new coffee cup cupboard. That should be your Christmas gift.
We do. It's kind of like vocal warm-ups we're doing right now. Coffee cup cupboard.
Coffee cup.
It's hard to say.
Cupboard.
All right. Okay. Well, welcome to Virtual Coffee Club. It is, of course, Fun Friday, where we like to bring friends in to have coffee with us this morning. So I'm pretty excited for our next guest to join us today. I have learned an incredible amount over the years from this gentleman on community building. And in fact, I give credit to this man to introducing me to I think it's become my life's philosophy of 100 cups of coffee. Ladies and gentlemen, Ian Hill. So,
hey, Jody,
welcome.
How are you? And hello to all of your viewers and listeners. It's an honor. It's an honor to have a smoothie coffee with you.
Yeah. Well, we call it a coffee club, but it's really any beverage of choice for the morning is good to go.
Well, if I had known that, I would have had my tequila and my Bailey's and coffee. It would have been awesome.
I feel like that would be the virtual coffee club after dark we need to do with you and that one. But good morning, Jackie. Happy Friday. Ooh, Darlene's here. She says, I remember Ian Hill. Good morning, Ian.
Good morning, Darlene.
Darlene's a massive community builder in my neck of the woods. So
well, you have tremendous community builders all throughout your region, and my heart warms when I think of all of the time that I spent with you and people that you knew, and that you and I were introduced to and that you're friends with. They were always wonderful people.
So where are you today? Because it looks like extra Christmas cozy.
Well, you know what? I'm in a television studio in Carson City, Nevada, the headquarters of the National Grassroots Broadcasting Network. And from this location, the National Grassroots Broadcasting Network broadcasts all around the world, primarily focusing on communities under 50,000 people, smaller communities and rural areas all across North America. So
that's cool.
We're on different sides of the border, but our commonality is there. The love of community and the love of rural areas and smaller cities.
And where do you broadcast to? Like, can we watch it in Canada?
Of course, and we'll be hopefully in 2022 coming to Canada, but on Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire, Android TV, Smart TV, or on any mobile device. 185 million homes across North America, 3.1 billion phones across the world, mobile devices. All people have to do is go to any connected device, connected TV or mobile device, go to their store, or their search and just type in ngbn.tv, and they'll get original programming and wonderful entertainment and all the things rural. And we're excited about being able to help support rural communities in smaller cities.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty fun. Well, we've got people that tune into Virtual Coffee Club from all over the world. So this is exciting.
Yeah, for sure. You know, one of the things that we've learned through this whole craziness of the pandemic was that people still have to be connected. That's the amazing thing you're doing with this coffee club every day, where you're joining and uniting people. And that's always been your heart, Jody. And one of the reasons I've loved you so much is because your heart is community, and you have always done a great job of being a community builder and connecting community. And that's the same thing we're trying to do. Tell the stories of people in rural areas and smaller cities. We believe that those areas and the people within them are relevant in the 21st century. We believe that they're important and valuable. And for Canada to reach its full potential, then rural communities must be vibrant and strong.
100%. Hey, look who's here. Hi, Tim Carson.
Tim Carson. Hey, Tim Carson, thanks for wishing me happy birthday. That was awesome.
Now, let's tell some stories about Tim. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, let's do that. That's a good idea.
I think that would be fun.
Coffee conversation.
Why not? Why not? We have no boundaries on social media, so we could do what we wanted.
That's right, for sure.
Hi, Kelly. So talk to me a little bit about, because you've worked a long time in the importance of community and connection. So through this, what I refer to as the great pause, I think we've learned that more than ever, the importance of connection. What are some of your thoughts that kind of swirl around that?
Well, you know, especially in this time of masks and lockdowns and quarantines, I think community is more important than ever. And we're finding unique ways to connect. This whole idea of supporting one another through challenging times. If you do an exploration of pandemics throughout history, there's one thing that you can guarantee, that after every pandemic, there's a renaissance. After every pandemic, there's an emergence of creativity. Through all of that adversity, some great things come out. And that's what I'm looking forward to in 2021, is the renaissance, this connection of people, this dynamic exchange of information, this supporting one another through a difficult time is always the proving ground and always the incubation site for renaissance. And whether that's personal renaissance within us as we look introspectively as we're stuck in our homes, or whether that's community renaissance, how will we remake ourselves? I would suggest to all that are watching and listening that we're not going back to days gone by. There's been a fundamental shift that has occurred. You know, Drucker was right that every couple hundred years in Western history, society really does rearrange itself. And that's what's occurred now. And so it'll be interesting to see the communities that take and say, what will we be in this new day? And how can we create our own community renaissance? And how can we coalesce around an idea of being better in 2021 than we were in 2019? 2020 has been that proving ground, that refining fire that can hopefully emerge. We can be better for it. But there is opportunity for renaissance, Jody, whether personal, organizational, or as a community.
Now that sounds hopeful, but what if I'm in the space right now where I feel, because I think we're almost past COVID fatigue and a chunk of our world is in hope fatigue. So how do we get through this piece?
So I think you're right. I think there's this underlying depression, low-level depression, low-level anxiety. I think people are just exhausted from the constant bombardment. You know, if you look at it in context, over a 30-year period, we were afraid of natural situations. We were afraid of people whose ideology might be different than ours. And now we're afraid of an invisible attack on who we are. And all of that weighs us down and beats us down. And so the COVID fatigue that you talk about only can be counteracted with agents of hope, individuals and even whole organizations who make it their point on a daily basis to spread hope. And how do we do that? hope, a while back, Jody, I commissioned some good people in Oshawa, Ontario, a small college there, some grad students. Do me a favor and do an exploration of where hope comes from. How do we generate hope? What they came back to me with was that there was a cycle. And the first step in that cycle, Jody, is that we see or we hear somebody do the improbable, the implausible, or the seemingly impossible. We watch a YouTube video, we read a story online, maybe even hear it on the radio or TV of somebody doing something phenomenal, and we gain hope. There's a little spark of hope that comes up in us. But that in and of itself is never enough, because we go back to our daily existence and that little ember of hope is quickly snuffed out. So then those grad students told me that that was the beginning, but it wasn't enough. There was another step. That next step to creating hope was learning how. How did those individuals or organizations or peoples do the seemingly improbable, the seemingly impossible? Because once we learned how they did it, that little ember of hope then had some kindling. But even that was not enough. Just seeing or hearing of somebody else doing the improbable, the implausible, or the seemingly impossible, just learning about how they did it sequentially, take this step, take this step, take this step, wasn't enough. Those grad students told me that the next thing was that somebody journey with you. That if somebody would journey with you, if somebody would walk side by side with you as you attempted to do the implausible, the improbable, or the seemingly impossible, as you took those action steps and began to walk them out, that if somebody would journey with you, then all of a sudden you were poised to do your own version of the improbable, the implausible, and seemingly impossible. And that each one of us could be a catalyst of hope to another human being. Each one of us could come alongside someone else and walk with them on their journey as they took on their own challenge, their own difficulty, and created, as we just said a moment ago, their own renaissance. And I think that's what's so desperately needed in today's day and age, Jody. Agents of hope who on a daily basis make it their personal mission to bring hope to another individual, not just a smile to somebody's face, but an answer, a solution, bring value to other people in a meeting that you sit in a neighbor's home, in maybe your business, maybe in a community meeting, obviously all done virtually via Zoom or whatever the heck, right? But however it is, how can I bring hope today? How can I bring value today? How can I inspire someone else to be better tomorrow than they were yesterday? That intentional and that deliberate, when my feet hit the ground as I come out of bed every morning, that's what we are desperately in need of today. And whether that's the artist who writes a song of inspiration, whether that's the business person who forges into an innovative new business because of the current challenges that we face, or frankly, whether it's somebody like you, and this is so typical of you, Jody, what you did and what you've done throughout your whole career to bring hope to people. And here you are bringing hope every morning by simply having a conversation and a cup of coffee. You're just doing it through a different platform. You are the epitome of an agent of hope, and you always have been. So we all have the wherewithal, whether it's at Timmy's having a double-double with a friend, if that's even allowed, I don't know.
No.
but or if it's just joining with somebody virtually and checking in with them as they're having a tough day. It's amazing the collective opportunity that we have. Singularly, one individual agent of hope, the headwind is strong, the wave is tough. You get knocked down over and over. But 1, 2, 3, 8, 12, 15, 100, all of those cumulative impact of those little agents or those little actions of hope come together and knock down any wall of oppression or injustice. It's a long-winded answer, as I'm always sure to give to your question. But you said, what do we do now? What we do now is shake off the shackles of challenge and difficulty. What we do now is toss off the negativity and the pessimism of what tomorrow will be and we step into the one thing that there's unlimited at our disposal: human creativity, human energy, and human capacity. This is what we have unlimited at our disposal that we can do in these challenging times.
I love that. Have you ever seen the movie A Bug's Life?
Yes.
That's my favorite analogy I think I use it a lot. Anyone who's been a part of Coffee Club will be like, oh God, she's bringing up A Bug's Life again. But I love this movie because all the ants realize when they form together as a team, they are stronger than the evil grasshoppers, and they band together and they all discover their own greatness and then their collective power. I feel like we are coming into our version of A Bug's Life, and we are the ants, and we are going to band together to start to create that surge. And it's crazy exciting. And I like to have conversation around it, because then those who are feeling fatigued can be like, okay, someone's gonna come alongside me. I am not by myself, and together we'll go.
Right. And that what you just described so perfectly, and the analogy used so beautifully, that's the Renaissance. That's the catalyst for the Renaissance. The ants coming together and realizing, hey, we got this, that collectively we can get this done. My favorite movie is The Magnificent Seven, right? The old Western, and Yul Brynner and Steve McQueen and all the guys. And that little village that the guys came into to protect, that little village had everything they needed on board at the time. They just needed a catalyst. High River, Pincher Creek, Olds, Fort Chip. We could go from Fort Chip all the way down to the border. And Alberta has everything it needs. Everything is in place. The good people, the hardworking people, the innovative and creative people, the loving people that, frankly, Jody, changed my life. I know that all that is necessary to overcome and create a renaissance is available and at our disposal in Alberta today, and it resides in the hearts and in the minds of the people, the Albertans themselves. When banding together, will overcome any adversity or any difficulty.
I love that. So, sorry, we'll grab some comments. Jackie says, hope fatigue is an accurate term. Tim says, I agree, amazing things ahead. Darlene shares, yes, walk alongside someone, well put. And the Alberta Association of Ag Societies just goes, hi, Ian.
I love the Ag Societies of Alberta. All amazing people and all amazing community builders, always out there making their communities a better place on a daily basis.
They're my extended family. I love them. Yeah,
absolutely. You know, Jody, on this hope fatigue, I think what happens is that we're hopeful, and there doesn't seem to be an end. I think one thing that I've always loved about the Canadian people, and what touched me so much, is they're a resilient and a hardy people. They carved out of the tundra of the land a society. But when you don't know when you don't know where the end is, like, I can endure if I know I've got to endure 2 years or I've got to endure 3 years. But when it seems like it's endless, that becomes incredibly challenging. And so this hope fatigue, it is real. And that's why I think we have to move to tangible action. What can we do? What can we do? We lay our head down at the pillow at night and we say to ourselves, today, here's what I did. I picked out one human being, just one. I picked out one human being, and I made a difference in that one human being. A listening ear, a kind word, a supportive recommendation, maybe giving out of my own abundance or giving out of my lack. All of these little action steps, the doing, is what makes that hope tangible and real. And then we realize, hey, you know what? I still can do, I still can be, I still can accomplish. And the collective energy of that is very, very powerful.
Yeah. And I think when you break it down into little pieces like that, it doesn't feel so overwhelming anymore. When you look at a grandiose, I'm going to use the word problem for lack of a better term, but when you look at something that's grandiose like that, you feel like, what difference could I make? And it's the whole stone in a pond analogy, right? The ripple effects are like unending.
Right. And I it sounds Pollyannish. It sounds trite. We talk about some of these things, these platitudes, but the practical, the absolute practical is as simple as this. A guy like Tim Carson. Tim Carson, I've said it publicly before, he made a phone call to me and invited me to come and give a talk one time. He didn't realize that that phone call was a lift, an uplift in my life through a dark phase. I was coming out of a very dark phase of my life, and Tim asked me to live my purpose again. Well, that singular phone call that he made changed my life, kept me alive, literally kept me alive. So we don't know the little things that we do, the impacts that we can make. But there's also the other side of that, the not doing, not making the phone call, not giving the encouraging word, not the supportive ear, the not side. And that's where I think history judges us. And if, depending on your worldview, you might even say you are judged at the end, depending on what your faith tradition might be. But at the end of the day, it is the not that we have to worry about. What are the ramifications of me not giving the supportive word, not giving the listening ear, not the gesture out of my lack or out of my abundance? Those challenges, those choices also have ripple. So either way, we're putting a ripple into the universe, either through our action or our inaction. And those steps will bear fruit. You know, those seeds that we plant will bear fruit.
Well, and inaction at the end of the day, I think for most people, if you look really inside and you really sit in how that feels, inaction feels shitty, right? So you might as well choose the action because
Right.
it's simple. It's simple as a text. It's simple as a message. It's simple as I don't know, mail a card. Remember that? Mail was big in your day, right?
Yeah, mail. Thank you very much. Yes, mail was big in my day. Thank you. Actually, it was stone tablets. We chiseled them. And then we had this guy, and he ran with the stone tablets, and his little feet hit the ground, and his car was made out of stones. And you remember Barney Rubble. And we, just like Barney, we would go with our stone tablet. Yeah.
So, yeah. And look at you running like a television network now. Like anything's possible, friends. Anything from tablet to TV. Yeah.
Anything is possible. And, just to put an exclamation point on this idea, can you imagine if
like right now,
all of us, if each one of us just decided that we were just going to pick out one human being? Not 50 human beings, not 100 human beings, not 1,000 human beings. We just picked out one human being within our own home, the 4 homes around us, maybe in our workplace. We just committed ourselves to one human being, and we were going to be of value beyond our normal everyday activity, but we were going to go beyond that, and we were just going to pick out one person, and we were going to be a support to them, a kind word, a gesture, whatever it might be. Just one person. What would be the collective impact of everybody that's listening right now, and frankly, everybody that's sitting in the studio, just picking out one person? I will make it my personal project to pick out one person, and I'll have their back, or I'll be their training wheels, or I'll be their wall to lean on. I mean, that's a very powerful thing, and it's doable for all of us. It's doable for every single one of us. And that's, I think, how we overcome the hope fatigue. We break it down into manageable bites that we can handle ourselves. You've heard me say this before, Jody. I'm not going to change the whole big bad world. It's not possible. But I can handle my corner.
Yeah.
I can handle my corner of the world. And I know that that's the spirit of Alberta. That's the rugged individualism. That's the find a way, make a way attitude that makes me love Alberta so much. And it is that attitude that will create the renaissance that we want to see, that emanates from Alberta across Canada and around the world.
Yeah. I thought of another movie analogy there, but it's probably super inappropriate.
No, go ahead. I'd love to hear it.
Well, it's kind of like in that piece in Pretty Woman when she was like, I work Fred Astaire, I work, right? You have your corner, right? Everybody's got their corner.
Right.
Maybe don't do it that way, but same kind of concept, right?
Yeah, maybe not exactly like that, but the essence of it was the same. Very good.
Yeah, right? Just breaking it down for people to digest. You're welcome on a Friday.
That's
Work
right.
your corner. You got this.
Work your corner, babe.
On that note, we should probably wrap this up.
Absolutely.
Because 20 minutes goes really fast in Coffee Club. And I appreciate so much your time today, Ian. It has been so good to connect with you. I know we will be talking a whole heck of a lot more. So Absolutely. It was nice to take a first introduction for our Coffee Club to you. So thank you for your time today.
You're welcome. And let me just quickly wrap up and just say, Jody, thank you. Thank you for all that you've done for your community, all that you've done for Alberta, and all that you've done for people across Canada. Your continued efforts in challenging times to bring community together is noble and honorable, and it's inspiring. And I just thank you for all you do for the people of your region.
Well, thanks. I'm not very good at taking those things in, but I will try. So thank you. Everybody have an amazing rest of your Friday. We look forward to seeing you back here at 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time tomorrow morning for another virtual coffee club. Have a good day, friends.
Bye, everybody. Take care.